What up? What up? Both of y'all send me a request. Go live. What's up? What's up?
There was good.
What's going down? I'm trying to bring. Hold on. I think Bryan's request on there too.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, there we go. There we go. What's going
bet.
on?
That's so lit. That's so lit.
Hey.
Hey, first
That's
off,
so.
why it sound like you're in the elevator, JC? You just got
Hold
all
on.
this
I gotta.
noise in
I
the
gotta put
background.
my. I gotta
I
put my
don't
things
see it
on.
coming.
Hold on.
Just
Hey,
saying.
Hold on. Mind your business.
we want
My
T.
Just
my
saying.
my. Mind your business.
T is in the house.
You know, I can't. Never mind,
Wait.
JC.
What?
JC, bruh. I'm
Huh?
about, I'm about to text you. What we talking about tonight?
There we go.
I don't either.
All
I'm
right. There we go. All right. Is that better?
Yeah. Yeah.
It still sound like an elevator?
Nah, you good. You good.
are you good?
Okay. Bet. What was I about to do? I don't know. Let me throw some mood music on here. Um,
Yes, right.
and I know they be like, man, what is these people doing? All right, we're gonna shuffle that. Okay, there we go. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You on Wi-Fi? What's going on?
All right. Now I'm on. Now I keep. I have. So my AirPods pick up on my iPad and my phone, and it keep automatically switching to my iPad. So
Right.
I had to get it straight. We good now though.
We in there.
I mean, you a tech genius. I'm gonna need your internet to be the best out of everybody.
Oh
Hey,
my internet should be cool.
show him my cousin.
My no
So we
no
do
it
all
does
day.
that
That's what
when
we
I
do all
swipe
day.
down. That's what I when I swipe down on the screen it just pauses. That's not my connection. That's these apps. Anyway, what was I about to say? Well, now people want to text me. Anyway, all right, here we go. So, what are we talking about today? First of all, welcome everybody um, to Millennial Talk Live. I still have to call it that because that's what's on the fly right now until I can get it in gear and switch everything over. We will affectionately be known as Church in the Wild next week. Um, but I'm here tonight with two of my favorite people in the whole wide world. I almost said my mom. And my cousin T
Oh
is in the
man.
building again. Y'all remember her from the last segment we did. And of course, my boy, my homie, Bryan EJ Robinson is always here to represent. Um, Last week we had some pretty dope discussion. I think this week we're gonna have some pretty dope discussion too, for real, because the topics tonight we're gonna talk about this from a Young Turks spin and just kind of see where it goes. Two things we want to deal with tonight: wisdom of the elders. Now, I can't explicitly say it's just wisdom for the elders because there's something that triggered this particular discussion. Of course, everybody is abreast of Bonnet Gate.
I was gonna wear
Um,
mine too.
Me too.
I was gonna throw the bonnet on.
Yeah, I thought about wearing mine too,
I
just to see what
swear.
the feedback was. I got a black one. Nah, but be you stupid. Anyway,
I
so
don't like. Side jokes.
No,
It ain't no side joke. It was just a side statement.
yeah. It was actually a compliment, but anyway, so Bonnet Gate, that's the hot topic right now. And so everybody has varying opinions on it. I personally think it's much deeper than just wearing a bonnet in public. So since we got my cousin T, and she's semi-female, we're going to let her kick off with her opinion on Bonnet Gate. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I love my bonnet. I love the bonnet, but I have no thought. If I'm in the airport, though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna have a bonnet on.
Danger
Maybe
zone.
sometimes it depends. It depends on the time of day, to be honest. If it's the wee hours of the morning, I'm probably gonna have a bonnet.
So like a red-eye flight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I always have a hood. I don't go out with the bonnet and the scarf without having a hood on all the time. I have done it before. But I try to be cognizant.
Wait, pause. Before you get too deep into it, show your grill. I love it. I love it, B. You got to catch up, man. If I got a sponsor, all right, we got to get you at least some bottles.
Man, I don't know, man.
Y'all know, if y'all don't know, I'm a little hood with it. If y'all watched last week, I'm sure y'all can't.
No, man, listen. Yo, JC, I already got a problem staying super safe. You know, one of my church people members was cooking over at Parkway, the old Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in there eating, and all the bottle girls coming out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody coming in. They keep looking like, you good, Rev? You good? I'm like, I'm good. I just got to go. I got to leave out of here. I can't be here, man.
Yeah, they don't know how comfortable you really are beneath the
I'm
surface.
just saying it, man. Listen, about another half hour, man, it would have been a whole other person.
Story.
Y'all thought it was turned up. You ain't seen nothing yet. Okay, go ahead. Back to that team. My bad. I just had to. I didn't see him at first. It just threw me.
Oh, you ain't see him when I popped on? I told you last week you was not going to just keep popping on here with your bottoms on and think that I wasn't going to jump on here with mine on. I'm right now. So, they came back. They had to get fixed.
Clutch.
We good.
Clutch.
But not like, obviously I got bottoms. I'm a little hood, got a little hood to me. But so I put the bonnet on sometimes. Especially even with the shabaldi, I'll put the bonnet on still. Just to protect the shabaldi. Because I don't like my hair rubbing up against seats and all that. So, I try to keep it protected as much as possible.
Right.
But on the side of that, I do feel that there is a way in which we should go out and conduct and and just carry ourselves, because you never know who you could run into. And I do try to be mindful of that when I'm out in my bonnet as well. Like, dang, I could run into somebody and I got this bonnet on, and it could be an opportunity of a lifetime. And what if they don't want to rock with me because I got this bonnet on?
Right.
But they're going to rock with me once they catch this vibe. But anyway, cocky. But, they might not, they might not know that. So for me, it's like a catch-22. Like, I'm definitely bonnet gang all the way. But at the same time, when you say that you think it's deeper than that, I do too. I think that we as a people, we just don't care. We're so caught up in this I don't care culture, and I'm going to wear what I want to wear and look how I want to look. Like, they don't care about. We don't care about. We don't have a pride in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of. I put my phone on do not disturb. My grandma was blowing me up. But I know that a lot of people, they try to say like, no, I do have pride in myself. But when you got a bonnet on and you kind of dressed up with it, okay. But when you got a bonnet on and slippers and pajama pants, okay, yeah, that is.
See, for me, for me, I think it's much deeper than the bonnet. I think it goes into representation. I think where this whole conversation stems from.
I'm here for bonnet. I said I'm bonnet gang.
Man, everybody listening, Rich. You ain't got no standards. No, I'm just no. But here's my issue, my dilemma with it. All right, we're always calling each other kings and queens, right? and we want to be addressed as royalty or whatever the case may be, and we want to be taken serious. Right. But we have issues when people talk to us about representation.
Right.
And so my issue is bigger than just the bonnet itself. And I think when Monique dropped that video, that was really her intent. And she said it over and over again. She said, listen, I want you to present yourselves, worthy of who you are. Carry yourselves in a way that is respectable. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that to me seems like a no-brainer. And then another thing is that one of the things that we have to realize is that how you present yourself really determines how serious people take you.
Right.
Everybody wants to be a brand. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to be this and that, or whatever the case may be. But if you're not representing yourself to the highest level of your ability, I get it. Sometimes, things come up. And you know what I hate about this? I hate when we have these type of discussions and then niggas want to pick out the most extreme of circumstances. Like, what if that was my dying wish and I'm in my casket and all this? I'm just like, bro, that's not what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I get it. There's those one-off situations. You taking a red-eye flight or you in a rush and you rush out the house or whatever the case may be. And, these situations happen. But at the same time, be respectful of yourself. You know what I'm saying? I see it all the time. We see people on Facebook, 1 minute, they're advertising their brand and their business. They want people to take them serious. And the next minute, they posting screenshots and beefing with somebody and all this other kind of stuff. And it's just like, bro, it's bigger to me than just wearing a bonnet. It's about sagging pants. It's about all that kind of stuff. You want to be taken serious. Okay, prime example. 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, y'all know, I was on a path to something new. You know what I'm saying? And so while I was in research and development of what I was doing, cool. I wore black tee, black Dickies, my black no-slip Skechers to work every day, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. That was cool as long as I was in the background.
Right.
But the minute we went into implementation and I began to be the face of my brand, y'all notice that my whole aura changed. The way I dressed, the way I represented myself. I started wearing more than just black. I started diversifying my wardrobe, all that kind of stuff, because I realized that as the face of my brand, how I present myself is going to determine how serious people take me. And I think that we as Black people don't really understand that. It's like, okay, when you're in the background, cool. But if you're trying to present yourself as a brand and you want notoriety and you want people to take you serious, if you want people to really rock with your brand, then you got to be better than just the background.
We're in a I don't care culture. They don't care about anything. They don't even care how they look. Only convenient for them. Only when they're going out of town or they don't care. They don't even think that far into or how to see them. And then when it comes to it, it's like, oh, I don't care. I don't give a, that type of response. And when we elicit the response, how are we ever going to move forward? Like I always say, like, I don't belong in this generation because if you look through history, just generationally, Black people really, you could tell that there was a time when we really took pride in our appearance and who we was. Men was wearing suits, and I'm not saying you have to get dressed in a 3-piece suit on a day-to-day, but that's what they were doing. Basically, or they were wearing slacks and their suspenders with their button-up shirt. Women was always in dresses, which I wouldn't have survived the dresses part. I would have definitely been the woman wearing the pants because, tomboy me. But I throw on a dress every now and again. I just don't know what to do. But, women were always in dresses, their hats, their gloves, just always looking nice. They just really looked big. My grandma was blowing me up.
Even me, I just literally placed an order for 3 custom suits last week. And y'all know that ain't my style. That ain't my stilo at all. I don't wear suits under any circumstance. But I realize I'm in a different place.
But so this is my thing. I think about it like this. I don't know. Years ago, Dr. Booth said it just like this. He was like, at the end of the day, are you a credit to the race or not? And so he equated that from a standpoint of education to finances, spirituality, to even how you dress, going out the house to the grocery store, to the hardware store. It's like, are you a credit to the race? And for that was just always putting yourself in position to be well put together. It doesn't have to be a suit. It can be, you know what I'm saying, a sweatsuit, you know what I'm saying? But are you well put together? And I think sometimes the bonnets and the do-rags and whatever else you're wearing, at the time people try to wear it, it's just out of place. And so for me, it's like, if you, like you said, on the airport, in the airport, right before a wedding, do what you got to do. But if every time I see you, you got a bonnet on, you got rollers in your hair, you got Crocs on, and just looking a hot mess, it's like, how much pride do you have in yourself? What are you representing? Now, furthermore, let's go to spouses, right? Husband, wife, you know, when a wife walks out the house, like, who are you representing? When a husband walks out the house, who are you representing? You know, so that's just my thing. It's about, more so than me being comfortable, it's about me being a credit to the race, being a credit to my people, because reality is there's folk on the outside looking in who are judging, looking, waiting for us to mess up and to look a hot mess and to be exactly what they stereotype us as.
And I definitely was going to hit that. I definitely was going to hit that. And that's, but again, you have people that are going to watch this, and you have people that watch what Monique said, and they're like, oh, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
Right. But you know what? What I've learned too is that we don't respect wisdom.
No.
As a generation, as a whole, we don't respect wisdom. And
anyone tries to tell us to help us, to try to get us further, we don't respect any of that.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's something, you know, and you know me, I've never been above wisdom. I'm always been of the mindset that if somebody lived it before me, I'd rather live it through their lens than to have to go through it on my own. If I can avoid certain mistakes and get to my destination a lot faster, then by all means, pour that wisdom. You're going to see me sitting at the feet.
Not harder.
Yeah. You're going to see me sitting at the feet of the elders more so than my peers. I may come down and bring that wisdom down amongst my peers. And y'all know we all sit and we talk and we bounce things that we got from the elders. Right. At the end of the day, we're going to toss that back to one another. But you're going to see me more at the feet of my elders because they've been here before. They lived this thing. They got experience that I do not have. And so it is my responsibility, if I love myself enough and I take myself serious enough to be able to take that wisdom. And there might be some things, what do they say, to chew the meat, spit out the bones?
Yep.
There may be some things that you don't need, but there's going to always be some stuff that you do. Chew the meat, spit out the bones, and digest what's necessary, and then and spit out everything that's not. And so, and it comes from me on many facets. And you know, Bryan, you just touched on this, even because these are things that I'm considering more and more. The turning point for me is one day I'm sitting in the research facility with my team. Mind you, there's about 150 of us in there. We're all coding and things of that nature. But somebody came in asking who was in charge. Now, mind you, we all just look like we in their code and we just regular text and all that kind of stuff. I blended with my team.
Right.
Now, in my limited scope, not thinking as a boss because I didn't have experience as a boss, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, you know, wow, that's disrespectful. But on the back of my mind, I'm like, wow, I look like everybody else. So that's why they don't recognize who's in charge. Right. And so that's when I begin to take my life in the way that I present myself a little more serious, changing up my wardrobe, things of that nature. It's not that I can't be amongst my team, but I have to stand out amongst my team. And it's the same thing with this generation. We got to understand, yeah, it's okay to politic, to blend, to be personable, all these things. But at the end of the day, keeping it real is only going to get you so far. If you don't flip that switch and begin to address yourself as who you are and where you're going. My uncle, who was technically my cousin, said this something to me early on in my ministry. He said, in order for people to follow, you got to look like you're going somewhere. But if I carrying myself like everybody else, then it makes it a lot harder for people to follow me. And so I'm considering these things, not just from a business standpoint, but as a pastor, as I'm considering my spouse and dating and all these kind of things. you don't just represent me as a man. You represent me as a businessman. You represent me as a pastor. You represent me as a father, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? And so the decisions that I'm making now are more conscious of the decisions I was making 3.5, 4 years ago, because I'm not in that place no more. I represent a whole brand, you know, and so now I'm not just a worker. I'm not just the man who sits in a research facility. I'm the only Black person sitting at director discussions when I'm having board meetings. The only Black person. I am the 1% minority. You know, yes, there's about maybe 15, 20 white people, 3 Indians, literally 3 Indians, and then there's me, the dark face. And what makes them inferior and intimidated by me is that not only am I the only Black person at the table, but they have no choice but to listen to me. And they can't stand it. But if I don't carry myself and present myself as somebody who you have to listen to, you want to hear what I got to say at the end of the day. Because if you don't listen to me, then your brand bottoms out. You see what I'm saying? But in order for me to get to that place, I had to stop carrying myself like a worker and start representing myself as a boss. And that's the thing, that when we're talking about these simple things as bonnets and things of that nature, that's what comes to mind. It's like, okay, carry yourself. And this is what Monique was saying. Carry yourself worthy of who you are. Represent yourself well. Represent your culture well.
That's with anything, though. You don't even have to be a boss, like in the sense of career. You know, when you're thinking about the structure of career, you don't even have to be a boss in that setting. You can just be a boss, period. You know, and carry yourself like a boss, period. Like I work for, you know, I have a career. You know, I almost said where I work. But, you know, I have a career.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I try. It's so hard for me to not go into detail about what I do, because, you know, niggas will start inquiring.
But I work. I have a career. I have a couple of different career paths, but I'm not going to say I'm a boss in my career setting on my 9-5-40. I am a boss in my everyday life because of how I carry myself, because of who I am. I get dressed every day, you know, and people ask me like, where you going? Even today, I got on like a tank top, this, and some little biker shorts, but I got my little necklace on, I got my bottoms in, I might not have my earrings in, but I got a new wig, because the thing is, I want to still, when I leave my house, I do want to be presentable. And the thing is, when I listen to Monique, now listen to her speak, even me being Bonnet Gang, when I listen to her, I'm like, you know what, I had to check myself. And I'm like, you know what, she got a point. Okay, I'm catching a red eye, or if I'm in a car going, you know, I love my road trips. If I'm on that road trip, you know that bonnet gonna be on. But as soon as I get out that car, if I get out and go in the store, now that the world is opening back up and I need to grab something, I need to take that bonnet off, because you never know who I might run into even on the road. So it made me check myself. Even though I don't walk around, because not only do I represent, you know, like you said, this and that and this, I represent who I am just as a Black woman. I represent me. So even just taking the family off the table and taking the spouse that I don't have off the table that I'm getting ready for and all of that, taking all of that, at the end of the day, I represent me. So you have to be put together. Who are you representing, and what type, what are you looking for? Because first impressions really are everything. You don't get another opportunity to make a first impression.
Absolutely. That's facts. You only get one shot with people.
Only one.
And you sitting there trying to keep it real, and you sitting there and don't even know you in the presence of millionaires. And what people fail to realize, if we're going to talk about this, even from a biblical standpoint, we're talking about practical wisdom, right? You're looking for your blessing. You're waiting for your blessing. You believe that God is going to release a blessing to help you get to your next place, or whatever the case may be, that your dream, your vision that you're trying to accomplish, right? Well, God uses people. And so you have to think it to yourself, how many times have you encountered your blessing, but you didn't present yourself worthy enough to receive it?
Come on now.
Let's be real about it. How many times have you been in the company of that millionaire that their sole intention was to invest, but you didn't look like the investment.
I mean, but you got to think. Go ahead, T.
No, go ahead, babe.
But you got to think about it like this. You know, being around millionaires for years, being in the insurance industry, you know what I mean? I started learning certain little things. It wouldn't even be the entire suit. It would be the watch. It would be the cufflink. It would be a certain ring that would signify to other millionaires, okay, this dude got it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it was very subtle things in the appearance to where it's like, hey, I can discuss this with this person because I know they're on the same level. I can interact with this person because I know they have the intellect or the mindset to get where I want to be. So clothes, a lot of times at the end of the day, it's not simply about, like you said, the three-piece suit. It's about certain little things and environments that are going to connect you in the right way. But the one thing I do want to say about it is we keep talking about leisure and comfortability. Our generation and the one coming behind us is so big about leisure and comfortability, right? And at the end of the day, who cares? It's making them lazy. So it's like, yeah, I want to be comfortable. I want people to accept me for me. That's great if you Cardi. That's great if you Offset, Quavo and them. You know what I mean? They got the money to where they can do that. But if you work, like you said, a regular 9 to 5, you making 50, 60K a year, it is what it is. You don't have the ability or the privilege to have that I don't care ethic mentality that everybody else has.
Even if you got it, Mark Zuckerberg is one of the top 5 richest people in the world, right? Everybody knows he loves a plain white tee, some denims, and whatever. It flip-flops. But you ain't never seen him on the Senate floor in none of that.
Nah.
Yeah. You ain't never seen him on the Senate floor in a white tee. He gonna suit up because he realizes that there's somebody more powerful and more fluent in the atmosphere. As keeping it real as I want to be when I preach in my pulpit, I'm probably going to have on a T-shirt, some jogging pants, some Iversons, maybe even this hat. I even preach in my front. But best believe, if T.D. Jakes was to inquire of me to come to the Potter's house, I'm going to wear whatever T.D. Jakes wear in his house. You feel me?
And just to even go,
it's a joke in there for you, JC, but I ain't gonna give it. It's a joke in there.
Don't get cussed out on air. I'm 2 weeks clean of cuss words on air.
I know. I'm like, y'all see, I'm being clean today so far. Get me talking about relationships though. I'll be cussing. But
luckily, that's not the next topic.
But nah, Bryan, when you said, you know, being amongst millionaires, you know, there's been times where I've been amongst people that sit in high places. And you could be 100-naire. I just made that up real quick. Or you could be 1,000-naire. You don't even, because, you know, I ain't no millionaire. And I'm like, what's the requisite? Do you know the qualifications for the 1,000-naire? Because I don't know if I'm there yet. I might still be 100-naire. But every time I go in those rooms, though,
I think it's higher 5 figures, like the upper 5 figures, just before you get to the 6.
For the 1,000-naire, okay.
Yeah, so for the 1,000-naire, yeah.
I'm 100-naire. Okay, cool. And that's cool. I don't have no problem. Listen, okay, because real to me ain't about comfortability.
She on the come up. She on the come up.
Who you are, and I'm just gonna be who I am. I'm 100-naire. So all people that's watching, I am not rich. But
you better add a yet on that.
That's facts. That's facts.
But when I walk in those rooms, though, I still belong there.
Right.
I belong there because of how I present myself.
Right.
I belong there because of how I speak. Yeah, I cuss a lot. My conversation real flavorful. But I also throw out words. I hit somebody with amalgamation the other day, and they was like, What is amalgamation? What does that mean? And when I speak, then I'm like, oh, well, you know, and then I had an opportunity to educate. But, oh, yeah, you thought that I didn't know nothing because I be cussing. But I belong in those rooms because of how I present myself. And amalgamation, it's the...
Okay, the action, process, or result of combining or uniting. Got it. I'm going to use it in a sentence next week. Stay tuned.
My bad. I ain't know. I was going to drop the definition, but I ain't know.
Yeah, we're preachers. You know we make up words.
Exactly. Hey, you got. Hey, sometimes you gotta ease it on by.
Yeah.
So that, y'all, is our word of the week: amalgamation. It's a combination of things.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
you know, I speak like that, and I really do talk like that on a day-to-day basis. So when I'm in these rooms and I'm in these situations with, you know,
So basically, like my job here in Atlanta is to amalgamate the community. Did I use it right?
kind of.
Kind of. Okay, we get there. We'll
Well,
get
you
there.
want to combine it because it would be like more like my side effects of chemo come from an amalgamation of things, like a combination of things,
Okay, so it's the end result of combining.
basically.
Okay, okay. All right, so bringing wealth to a community would be the culmination of amalgamating the minds. No,
Yeah,
all right,
it's trying
You
to
too
combine.
smart not to get this right, JC. Too
listen,
smart not to
We're
get
gonna
this
have it
right.
right by next
you know
week. We're
what?
gonna work on it. That's gonna be our word of the week.
I speak Python,
Yeah, see, I don't speak that.
C++.
I speak therapy, and he speaks pie. So that's why we educate each other. I speak
You want to talk
therapy.
to me in digits and characters? We in there.
Right. And I'm gonna talk to you in the mind. But no, so it's like I belong there. And I think that people miss that, especially people that do have their own brands, because so many Black people do want to be in this boss seat and they want to have this boss status, and they all, you know, because everybody is a boss as far as working wise. But they don't carry themselves in that way. And that to me is a problem. Like we have to get back to carrying ourselves
Mm-hmm.
in the way in which, you know, we want to be treated, because we want people to invest in our businesses. We want people to invest in our ideas. People are not going to invest in you. You always have on a bonnet and some leggings and a half shirt with your stomach hanging all over the place.
Right.
You know, I don't mean to change subject, but we got to eventually hit this whole concept of being a boss and everybody being an
Yeah, we
entrepreneur
got
and
to.
everybody having businesses and hustling. Because I'll be honest with you,
We have
it
to.
ain't for everybody.
It's not. I got to listen.
People,
I got to hire somebody.
Because if we
that's what
all
I'm
boss,
saying.
who
I was trying to break
working?
it down like this: the number 10 guy at Google still making millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, listen,
end of the
my
day,
thing is, if we all bosses and we all on our own business, who keeping the train going?
Right.
I'm just saying, like even when it comes to just running my dump trucks, right? I'll be sitting there some days like, yeah, it would be nice to just hop out this truck and be like, I ain't got to worry about it. But nah, I'm walking around, I'm looking, making sure ain't nothing in my tires, checking the oil. You know what I'm saying? It's other stuff that go into it because that's a boss. You know what I'm saying? An employee
Either
don't care
this
about that.
live is
They
jumping or
roll
the
it in
bots are
there.
busy.
I don't know, man.
Either this live is jumping or the bots is busy.
I know. I'm like, I was looking and paying attention, and
Somebody,
yeah,
when T was talking, somebody said, I look at your profile every day. I'm like, well, that's
I know. You're like, that's not it. Like, your mind.
Hey, they talking about T's profile?
Yeah,
That might have been.
I don't
Hey,
know
that
if
might have
these
been
are
my fake.
people
That
or
might have
these
been my
bots.
fake page, man. That might have been my fake page.
But you're absolutely right, man. Listen, it's not for everybody.
It's
And,
not.
and it's so crazy is that I didn't want it to be
Right.
for me initially. Like
I
Bryan, you know.
graduated. Never mind. We gonna
You know,
say.
Bryan, my mindset going into this whole journey was always been, I just want to see what's up. But Bryan kept pushing me like, bro, you're going to have to step outside of that realm of comfort that you in. Like, he used to tell me that daily. Like, look, this is happening whether you like it or not. And I'm just like, you said you got to tinkle. What?
Oh, I got to turn on my light.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what she got to do? Why you got to announce that? We don't even know that.
Right. All right, listen. Let's get into this next. This is incredible, babe. You see what I'm saying? These are bots. These gotta be bots.
It's incredible.
All right,
I'm about to start engaging these bots. Hold on, wait a
minute. Right. All right. So next one. We got to get into this.
All right.
The relevance of the church. I think that was a good segue into this. Because we're talking about wisdom, passing it down, being able to take it, all this other kind of stuff. Now we cross into why isn't the church relevant? Or is it?
Bryan, go ahead.
Bryan, we're gonna let you
That's
kick
on
this
me.
one.
You got to on me.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to my point, man, that the church is always going to be relevant. With the church being the ecclesia, the called out ones in terms of the people, right? We are all. Why are you laughing at me, man?
Because y'all just throwing the words out tonight. Ecclesia.
But so listen. So I say that to say, like, the people are always going to be imperative. But for me, the question is, what is our footprint in the community? What is our footprint in the world? Because it's been easy for us to assemble inside the church, to have these amazing services, shout, dance, do all of these different things. But at the end of the day, we're not really relevant if we are not having influence and power within the community. You know, I think about, I was talking to my grandmother about this. She came up in Union Grove. You know what I'm saying? The original Union Grove. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about politics, engaging in the political realm, finances, getting people to buy homes, mortgages, you know what I mean? Legislation, putting people through school. So the church had a part in all of that. Right. It was like, I'm going to spiritually get you to where you need to be, but you're going to take this spiritual moment and move it to a practicality. And that's where I think we have to get back to, because if we don't, we are going to lose relevance in the young people. And I say our generation, the one behind, we have other things to do on Sunday. I could be on a boat. Like, real talk. Every Sunday I think about it. I could be on a boat right now.
Right.
So I hope I answered that.
I think a lot of our generation and the younger generation has moved so far away from the church. I think that, to me, the church will always be relevant. But at the same time, like you said, we sat at the feet of our elders and we absorbed the wisdom that they were pouring into us. A lot of us, and then definitely the generation behind us, they're not open to receiving that type of wisdom. So a part of that makes the church not relevant to them, because their spirits are so shut off to receiving any wisdom, anything from anybody. So let alone people in the church, because their whole thing is, oh, you just want to preach to me, you just want to preach to me. And a part of that is from the elders in the church, their delivery. They can come off judgmental. Not all of them, but they can come off judgmental. So who wants to really, hear that?
Right.
That's where evidence comes in, though.
Huh?
That's where evidence comes in.
That's where I was getting at. Do you think that it's because they see me more being produced outside of the church than they do in the church?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
And why do you think that is? Is it the church's lack of communal concern?
No, it's because Negroes don't know how to read their Bible. They don't know how to apply what's in the Bible. They don't know how to take the meat and leave the bones. And they want to pack out these churches just to say, oh, I made it to church. Oh, we had such a good time. Yeah, okay.
And take they snap.
Exactly, man. Like, that's my whole thing, because at the end of the day, God ain't changed. Like, God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The word has not lost its power. If anything, we got more translations and more commentaries and more application than any other generation has ever had, right? So there's no excuse not to be producing. But the problem is, the generation before us, a lot of times, and it goes back to the bonnet thing, a lot of them said, put on the outfit. You know what I'm saying? Make it look like you got it. Make it look like you're this or that. But when you got home, it wasn't the same thing, right? And so now people are looking at the church and saying, I don't want to just act like I got it together on Sunday and then go home and I'm arguing with my wife. Go home and my kids acting a fool. No, I need this thing to really work. You know what I'm saying? And so when we start giving people methodology, they're good. Go ahead, T.
No, go ahead. I was just piggybacking. Like, I agree. Carry on.
You gotta literally take it to the people and be like, this is how you move. This is how you get through this situation. This is the evidence. When I was at Price's church, I was preaching about that. I said a lot of reason that, you got grandma in here, great grandma here, and your great grandson and them don't want to come to church is because, grandma, you've been in church for 40 years and you still can't pay your light bill. I'm 19 out here in the street hustling. You calling me to pay your bill. Where your Jesus at?
Right.
Right. I was
church.
rolling into that. Right.
I'm done.
Go ahead, T.
I'm done. I'm laughing at Bryan. I'm done. No, because
man, I'm telling you, my name should probably be Bryan Farrakhan. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, I just love Jesus.
I'm so upset that they took my man off the air. I just, I don't understand.
Time out, man. I ain't going into it.
No, go into it.
This is what I tell you I love when I realize I love Farrakhan, man. And that might get shut off. But he was talking about he had just started teaching, and he had bought a brand new car, and he was behind on the car payment, right? And the white man called him, and he said, listen, I'm going to come get your car. And he told the white man, he said, I'll kill you, come get this car. He said, but I'm going to pay you. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm a man of my word. I'm just on some hard times. So he got a speaking engagement in North Carolina, made the money, came back and paid him. And the whole thing was, he was like, at the end of the day, as black men, we got to stop being so timid and stand for something. Like, nah, I'm going to pay you, but nah, nigga, you're not going to come get this car either.
Right.
I'm calm, I'm timid.
They putting trackers in the car, they're going to come get that car.
But it's the whole principle of having that kind of conviction.
They checking his public itinerary.
That I made a commitment to something. I might not have it all right now, but guess what? You're not coming to get it. But also, I'm not just going to be like, whatever, I'm not paying you. I got the discipline as a man to go out there and get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm saying, like, it bugs me too, because some churches do it, but as a whole, we really don't see it. We don't see the church teaching manhood, how to be a man, how to be a father, a husband, a provider. You know what I mean? And I'm probably going to get in trouble for this because all these independent women don't really want a man. Whatever. I don't know who y'all is. It's weird to me. That's weird.
I'm an independent woman, so I'd be able to.
But you listen. You are independent because you have to be. At the end of the day, if there was a man like my wife right now, she ain't gotta do nothing. She ain't got to. Jason, you can attest to this. She ain't got to. She does, but she doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? And there's a different piece that comes in a woman's life when she ain't gotta do nothing. You know what I mean? And that's where Proverbs 31 really comes in. She's like a merchant ship, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing stuff to her, and she's taking my seed, and she's growing my seed. And a lot of times, how can a woman be the best woman if she got to get the seed, plant the seed, water the field, harvest it all? No.
And we kind of talked about this last week.
We
kind of touched on that last week.
Right. And
go ahead.
No, you go.
I just think that leadership is important. But I think, too, you have a lot of people in our generation that grew up as pastors, children as pastors, relatives. And when they seeing what daddy, uncle...
I'm sorry, Chris is so ignorant. I just seen his message come through on my screen. And he said, Tucci, I can see the nudes on your other. There ain't no nudes on my glasses screen. I know my glasses reflect. That's so funny. Thanks for looking out, though.
Man.
I cannot. I don't know. I thought this was on Do Not Disturb. I'm not even supposed to be seeing people's messages pop up.
Hey, if we really got church in a while, we got to talk about why people keep sending news to preachers.
Why
people keep sending news to the preachers?
Because obviously the preachers is doing something for them to feel comfortable to send them news.
Not at all.
No.
See, I mean, I'm sanctified. No. Yes. Oh, yes. You know what I'm saying? That might not be your testimony, but yes, because I know.
Okay, we're not going there. I know exactly where you're getting at. But yeah.
I want to know too. Can we have an after party?
In her defense, there are some preachers that do. Yeah. But that's not my case. It's just
that ain't my testimony either.
yes, we can have an after party. But
man, I'm telling you, between me and my wife, bro, man, they stay jumping in DMs, and I just be like, delete, blocked, and then they pop up with another profile. Like, hey, come on.
I'm trying to tell, man, listen, you get more action and attention when you commit yourself to the Lord than when you want that stuff to be a part of your life. Like, I don't understand it. Like,
listen,
it's something else. I don't know.
Hey, in the words of Larry Reed, the church needs some peen. They just need some peen.
Something is going on. Like, what do you
listen to that dude?
Okay, we just got Ray off subject, so we might as well take this last 10 minutes to banter. Why do you think that is?
I can only speak for my own personal. I don't send preachers. I don't send.
Hold up, wait. No, make sure you tell the truth. Tell the truth, show the devil.
It is the Sabbath.
Oh, I'm always gonna tell the truth. The Sabbath, Monday, Tuesday, because the Sabbath could be anybody's day. That's the day that you rest. So I'm gonna tell the truth.
She getting real deep now.
Monday, yeah, because you know I get deep now. Don't play. I'm still about that. I get John. No, I could go there, but no.
No, seriously, why do y'all think that is? Like, what is it? Like,
did they just send it to the preachers?
The unwarranted, you know.
But why does anybody send unwarranted news? Do you know?
I mean, so I don't know. I thought it was like people trying to get me caught up. You know what I'm saying? But then it started happening to a frequency when they was just like, nah.
No, I'm not.
Like,
or whatever.
Yeah, like, and that's what tripped me out. Like, bruh, for real. But then they be having like theological constructs to it. Like, Miss Solomon had a bunch of wives, and such and such did this and did that. And I'm like, you know what, man?
I'm weak. You know, I'm only half female anyway. I'm about to start having a whole bunch of husbands. It's a polyamory at this point.
Would you call it polyamory?
Yeah, it's different from a polygamy. It's just where you just sign this waiver.
Polyandry.
Polyamory. It's all different types of poly relationships. You know,
the JC.
I'm not doing this. Okay, I'm not about to, because y'all both seem like experts in this.
What you know?
Actually, the technical term, I'm like,
you got polygyny, you got polygamy, you got polyamory, you got polyandry.
Wait, say it again, because I might be saying it wrong.
No, you got polygyny, you got polygamy.
Not that one.
You got polyamory.
Amory.
All right, there you go. Okay, that's just that polyamory just is a free for all. Everybody do what they want to do, who they want to do, so they do what they do it. Okay.
Sign my waiver so that we could just be doing whatever at this point.
What are we talking about, y'all? What are we talking about? I'm lost. I'm confused.
All the way off the rails. Why do y'all think they send it? Okay, I get
because the church
unwarranted, unsolicited news regularly, but what is it like, preachers? You would think that people would at least that would be a second thought. Like they would.
I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead, T. Go ahead.
To a higher standard because a lot of these preachers don't hold themselves to that standard.
But time out. I got a girl that said it like this. She was like, "We this way towards preachers because we read our Bible. We know what preachers like." And I was like, "What? What you mean?" And she started naming off a bunch of Old Testament cats that had some sexual issues. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, most of the preachers she met are very sexual people.
They was hoes.
So she just throw them out there like,
for real.
Gonna stick.
Hey, they was super hoes in the Old Testament. And it's hard to justify being a man after God's own heart when God knows you a hoe.
Hey, when David over there like, hey, who that over there taking a bath? I need that. Bring that to me right now.
Jacob out here with sisters.
Right.
Hey, but
Jacob was a committed hoe. He said, I will work 14 years for the both of you. Like, that's
for both of you.
Wow.
And your what? He had the whole team.
Samson went into the enemy.
That ain't include the concubines. You know, he had the wives and he had the concubines.
That's why I said he got the whole team.
Man.
I don't know, man. I don't, but it's so crazy. Like, it's such a struggle, man, because, like, I don't know if you guys notice, I have a ton of LGBTQ plus people that flock to me in terms of, like, that love God or struggling with whatever they like or they love. And it's just interesting, man, because we have such a divide when it comes to the mental health of sexuality within the Christian church.
Well, come on, let's talk about it. Mental health.
Because, that's the thing, because you got a lot of people that, and I won't even throw like a Donnie McClurkin out there. We're not gonna get on that, right? But like somebody who says, okay, I was gay. I don't know if I'm 100% delivered from being gay, but I don't partake in the lifestyle out of respect for my faith, right? So then you have this argument, okay, are you really delivered? Are you not delivered? Are you just abstaining? Like, which one's better? So I think within the church, we get this psychosis and a lot of just chaos mentally because folk are not able to talk about what it is they like, what it is they're struggling with, where they've come from, and having a comfortable place to be like, hey, I'm not going to judge you. I may not support you, but I'm going to be right here to let you say what you have to say instead of just brushing it under the rug. You know what I mean? It's weird, man.
Bryan, I gotta hold on. I gotta ask this question because I was just talking to Tasia about this earlier, not to put her on the spot or anything like that. She asked me a question. I was very candid with her in my answer. It was two-part question. Can gay people be a part of the leadership at your church? And would you marry a gay couple?
I seen that on her status.
And what was your point? What was your statement?
So, and I'm they about to stone me. I told her explicitly, I said, I could not reason within myself or biblically about marrying a gay couple. That's not my calling. That obviously is above my pay grade to even consider. I don't believe in that. However, I have to treat your sin as equal as any other sin. So as it pertains to leadership and things of that nature, I can't see myself shunning or forsaking anybody from holding a leadership position because then I would have to take into consideration other people and their flaws and faults and things of that nature. That's not for me to judge. That's something that you have to work out between you and God, as we all have our things that we have to work out. Now, as far as me going as far as explicitly performing a gay marriage, no, I can't do that. And I was real with her. I can't do that. I won't do that. But I'm not going to forsake you from the body of believers because this is your lifestyle. Because there are other people that have other lifestyles that are clearly worshiping freely. So
should we pick this up next week?
Absolutely.
It's Pride Month, and I'm an ally, and I definitely want to pick this up because we got our 5-minute warning. So I know that if we really tap in, we're gonna be out here a lot.
We're gonna be on an island,
right?
This might make a delayed read.
Yeah, I got my conference coming up in 2 weeks. I hope I'm gonna be welcome at the house.
Oh man, that's.
I'm invited to the ranch. I hope I can keep my invitation.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, let's definitely tap into this next week. That would be a great topic. Yes. I don't know what we're gonna call it, but we definitely gonna tap into it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm not gonna answer the question, right? But I'm gonna say this. I have my biblical view, and I have my personal opinion. The two of them do not line up with one another.
Mine don't either.
And the reason that is because I love people.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
And so for me, if I base it off of the Bible, this is going to be my stance. And it's not out of hatred. It's not out of malice. But if I go based off of what I feel in my heart as a person, I'll be over here.
It's a conflict because my thinking is evolving on it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it's about. And we talk about that a lot in the line of work that I do. And even when you're in grad school for mental health, this is a big thing.
Oh, what? Did my wife put a rainbow on there?
Yeah, she did.
Yes, she did.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
This is a big thing, and it's a big topic because there are so many LGBTQ plus, QQ plus you know, my babies that I call them, that they don't feel loved and they don't feel supported. And I really feel like that's important. And they don't get that love and they don't get that support, especially from the church, people that are supposed to be loving beyond condition. Because if we say, oh, well, I love like the Bible, well, in the word, it tells us, you know, everybody want to talk about the word, but don't nobody want to live by that thing. It tells us what love is. It's patient, it's kind, and it runs that down for us. So they don't feel loved, they don't feel supported.
Y'all want to take this after party to Facebook, but we can't put everybody on Facebook.
We can't. But let me say this last part, because then we're gonna cut off. At the end of the day, they got a problem with all this gay, homosexual, lesbian stuff. But I'm telling these preachers they're smashing the gays. I'm telling these preachers they're smashing the lesbians. So you talk about the mental psychosis, the craziness.
That's right.
Yeah, they go to church and they're shunned, but then the preacher kicking it to them on the line like, hey, meet me over here, meet me over there.
So make sure y'all tune in next week for Church in the Wild, 8 o'clock next Sunday. We coming in hot. The topic, let the gays say amen. That just dropped in.
I'm not an ally, but amen.
And I'm smoking on that.
Let the gays say amen. Y'all stupid. Don't lose the live. What? Don't lose the live? What are you talking about? What?
Hey, bye, hang up. It's 9 o'clock. Right. They're going to cut us off.
All right, let the gays say amen next week. We'll see y'all next week.
Hey, you gonna get banned, man. Let the gays say amen.
Let the gays say amen. That's it. That's the topic.
I hate you.